Picture this. You're sitting outside on a warm summer evening, enjoying the serene beauty of nature. The sun is setting, casting a golden hue over the landscape, and everything seems perfect. But then, you hear that unmistakable, high-pitched whine, followed by a sharp, irritating itch. Yes, it's the dreaded mosquito, one of nature's most persistent and surprisingly complex creatures. But have you ever wondered what makes these tiny insects such a formidable force? Why do they bite? How do they breed and thrive, often in overwhelming numbers? And could it be true that some mosquitoes are becoming immune to our best defenses? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the mysterious and sometimes mind-boggling world of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are more than just a summer nuisance. They are a remarkable example of evolution and survival. Belonging to the family Culicidae, there are over 3,500 species of mosquitoes, each with unique habits and characteristics. These insects have been around for millions of years, and their ability to adapt and thrive in various environments is nothing short of extraordinary. Mosquitoes are known for their piercing and sucking mouthparts, which they use to feed on the blood of various animals, including humans. However, it might surprise you to learn that not all mosquitoes bite. In fact, it's only the females that require blood meals, and they do so for a very specific reason: reproduction. Female mosquitoes need the proteins found in blood to develop their eggs, which they then lay in stagnant water. This process is crucial for the continuation of their species, and it's why mosquitoes are so relentless in their pursuit of a blood meal. Their feeding behavior is influenced by a combination of factors, including carbon dioxide, body heat, and certain chemicals found in human sweat. This is why some people seem to be more attractive to mosquitoes than others. But what happens after they bite? A mosquito's saliva contains anticoagulants that prevent your blood from clotting, which is what causes that familiar itching sensation. Interestingly, it's not the bite itself, but your body's immune response to these foreign proteins that leads to the itch. Did you know that mosquitoes have terrible vision? They rely on movement and the detection of body heat more than clear eyesight to locate their targets. They can sense the carbon dioxide we exhale from over 150 feet away, which is how they zero in on us, even in the dark. Mosquitoes are incredibly efficient at reproducing, which is why they can become such a big problem so quickly. A single female mosquito can lay hundreds of eggs during her lifetime, and she usually does this in places with standing water. This could be anything from a puddle to a bird bath, or even water collected in an old tire. If there's water, mosquitoes see it as a perfect spot to lay their eggs. The mosquito's life cycle has 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. It's kind of like how a butterfly starts as a caterpillar. The eggs hatch into tiny larvae, often called wigglers, because of how they move in the water. These larvae live in water and feed on tiny particles and microorganisms. After a few days, they change into pupae, a stage where they don't eat but are getting ready to become adult mosquitoes. After this transformation, the adult mosquito emerges and is ready to start the cycle all over again. What makes mosquitoes particularly tricky is how quickly they can go through this life cycle. In just about a week, a mosquito can grow from an egg to an adult, meaning that in the right conditions, their population can explode in no time. This is why you might suddenly notice a lot more mosquitoes in your yard after a few days of rain. Mosquitoes have been found in the Arctic, surviving extreme conditions that would kill most other insects. They can hibernate through the winter as eggs or larvae, and when the ice melts, they're ready to spring back into action, showing just how adaptable they are. And remember, it's not just the number of mosquitoes that's a problem. They're also known for spreading diseases, so managing their breeding grounds is really important if we want to keep their numbers down and protect ourselves from the illnesses they can carry. Mosquitoes are notorious vectors of some of the world's deadliest diseases. Malaria, dengue fever, Zika virus, and West Nile virus are just a few examples of the illnesses spread by these insects. The mechanism of transmission is relatively simple. When a mosquito bites an infected person or animal, it ingests the pathogen, which then multiplies within the mosquito. When the mosquito bites another host, it injects the pathogen into their bloodstream, potentially leading to disease. The impact of mosquito-borne diseases is staggering. Malaria alone is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths each year, primarily in sub-Saharan Africa. Despite extensive efforts to control mosquito populations and develop effective vaccines, these diseases remain a significant global health challenge. Did you know that mosquitoes have been responsible for more human deaths than all the wars in history combined? In fact, some historians argue that mosquitoes have had more influence on the course of human history than any other creature, simply because of the deadly diseases they spread. And did you know that some mosquitoes are picky eaters? For example, the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which spreads dengue and Zika, prefers to bite humans over animals. This preference makes it particularly dangerous in urban areas where humans are densely populated. As if mosquitoes weren't already challenging enough, there's an alarming trend that's making them even harder to control: resistance to insecticides. Over the years, the widespread use of chemical insecticides has led to the evolution of resistant mosquito populations. This means that the very tools we've relied on to protect ourselves from mosquitoes are becoming less effective. Insecticide resistance occurs when a small fraction of a mosquito population, due to genetic variation, survives exposure to the chemicals meant to kill them. These survivors then reproduce, passing on their resistant traits to the next generation. Over time, this leads to a population that is increasingly difficult to manage using traditional insecticides. Some mosquitoes have developed behaviors to avoid insecticides altogether. For instance, some species are now biting earlier in the evening or later in the morning to avoid times when people are likely to use sprays or bed nets. It's another example of their incredible adaptability. Did you know that mosquitoes are the deadliest animals on Earth? Yes, more deaths are attributed to mosquito-borne diseases than to any other animal, but not all mosquitoes are out for blood. Some species, like the toxorynchites, are actually predatory and feed on other mosquito larvae, making them natural mosquito control agents. Another interesting fact is that mosquitoes are attracted to certain colors. Dark colors, especially black and blue, are more likely to draw mosquitoes in, which is why you might find yourself being bitten more often if you're wearing these colors. Mosquitoes have been around since the time of the dinosaurs. Fossil evidence suggests that these insects have existed for over 100 million years, which means they've survived multiple mass extinctions and dramatic changes in the Earth's climate. Some mosquitoes can fly up to 1.5 miles per hour. That might not seem fast, but for such a tiny insect, it's pretty impressive. Also, did you know that mosquitoes can drink up to 3 times their body weight in blood? That's like a human drinking about 180 gallons of water in one sitting. Given the challenges posed by mosquitoes, especially in the context of disease transmission and insecticide resistance, what does the future hold for mosquito control? Scientists are exploring a variety of innovative strategies, from genetically modifying mosquitoes to reduce their ability to reproduce, to developing new types of insecticides that target specific mosquito species without harming other wildlife. One of the most promising approaches involves the use of Wolbachia, a bacterium that, when introduced into mosquito populations, can reduce their ability to transmit diseases. Field trials have shown encouraging results, and this method could potentially revolutionize the way we manage mosquito populations in the future. Additionally, there's ongoing research into vaccines for mosquito-borne diseases. The success of the malaria vaccine, for instance, offers hope that we can eventually reduce the burden of mosquito-borne illnesses. And here's an intriguing future possibility. Scientists are also working on creating genetically modified mosquitoes that, when released into the wild, can pass on genes that either kill their offspring or make them sterile. This could potentially lead to a drastic reduction in mosquito populations in certain areas. In conclusion, mosquitoes are much more than just a summer annoyance. They are highly evolved creatures with a complex life cycle, a remarkable ability to adapt, and a significant impact on human health. As we continue to battle these tiny but formidable foes, it's important to remember that understanding their biology and behavior is key to developing effective control measures. So, the next time you hear that familiar buzz, take a moment to appreciate the incredible, if somewhat infuriating, world of mosquitoes. They may be small, but their influence is vast, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.